Well, it's really early here in Florida. Sun's coming up. I went and got my red rays for the morning to get ready to talk to you. You're going to want to watch this video, and I hope you'll keep an open mind with it. We're going to talk about, we're so deep now into the transition, the split, we call it the shift. But where are you in the shift? If you can keep an open mind and hear me out, I'm going to share with you the shift as it applies to the human consciousness and the frequencies and the results of that. Are you ready to go into a new world? But where are you now? And maybe you're going to want to look at a few things and make a decision for yourself as to where you want to be going into this new era that's going to be very controversial. It's going to be very challenging, and it's also going to be one of the most exciting time periods on this planet. Are you awakened? Are you going into the new world, the new earth of peace? Are you a creator of that world, or are you still in the programming? It's not easy. I'm going to share with you a few points that you can ask yourself where you are and if you want to make any changes. This is your life to choose, your experience. Let's explore it. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Well, we've talked about the conspiracies going on out there. I had a little fun on New Year's Eve with that. And then we talked about the distractions going on. We had a Tesla explosion in a Tesla in front of the Trump Hotel. Obviously, two key factors in whoever did that, the attention they were trying to get. We have people doing amazingly destructive, angry things here, all over the planet actually, harming others. There's a lot of frustration and anger. Where's that coming from? We need to talk about this right now because there is a huge split going on. Now the split is, it's not that it's going to be black or white. It's actually just an acceleration of the awakening and the deep darkness that's going to go actually deeper into the darkness. I know, it doesn't sound good, but the ego will fight for its position because it doesn't know anything else. That can change, but it's going to change more if you are raising your frequency. But how do we do that? How do you know if you're even in the realm of a higher frequency? I'm going to give you those points. We're going to go through them one by one, and I want you to ask yourself if that's where you want to be, because we are past the tipping point. We're deep into the shift. Now I hope you'll subscribe, and also I want to share with you that the book that I had a download, it was a real download. I mean, I would get up at screwball hours, 3 a.m., and start writing this thing, and I got messages. I get, you guys get this too, this isn't crazy stuff, that I had to get it out now. Well, that was a year ago. I talked about the tipping point that we're going into and the knowing. You might want to read about that, because the knowing is actually the ultimate space that you're going to want to go into if you want to participate in the new earth of peace and the golden era. It's not going to be for everyone. It is actually a choice. What do I mean by that? Everything is a reality created by you. We all participate in the reality together, but yours alone is yours to choose and to create. Every thought creates. This is quantum physics. You are literally creating the events in your life, what you participate in, what you become entangled with. That means if I give my attention over here, I participate in that. It becomes my world. If you watch a scary movie or something really negative, it is now in your energy field. And you can't get rid of that. That's forever, right? Once you invite that in, it's there. You will never forget it. Events in your life, the pain, the trauma, these are things we either carry or learn from, or both. I want to just start in by saying that we have a couple of roles going on here. We have the participants in the matrix programming that are still playing that game, and we have the change makers who are stepping outside of it. All right, I'm going to ask you what you are. Do you know? You may not know right now. So let's start out with the very first thing of the high frequency shift. Now, we're talking about penthouse. My father has many mansions. What does that mean? There are many games being played out. There are many experiences and adventures. That's all it is. Planet Earth is one of them, a mansion. And within it there are floors. There's a penthouse and a basement. It's pretty dark down there. And what are you down there with? Other people in the darkness. So someone in the penthouse isn't going to hang out there. You have to go up to the penthouse. So you're always going to resonate with those on your frequency. Now you will cross over, but let's be really honest, and I'll give you an example. People that come on my channel, all creators out there, by the way, because we talk to each other, we have some discussions, and viewers will come on. I'll get viewers that they're not there to really contribute. They're there to just pick on people and criticize and judge. Well, guess what? I get those people on my channel. Believe it or not, I don't know why they pick on me, because I'm here to empower you into that beautiful space of which you are. But it's going to happen. And the same thing with you. No matter how wonderful and nice and lovey-dovey you are, there are going to be people that actually purposely pick on you. They think you're a soft spot. The weak shall inherit the earth. No, the meek. That is not a weakness. All right? The meek shall inherit the earth. Those are not the people that are fighting. They destroy each other. So I want to give you an example. If people are in the basement, so if somebody comes on my channel and they're picking on me, guess what? They're either going to unsubscribe because they're angry because I didn't say what they wanted me to. They want to get in and argue with me, or YouTube or I block them from the channel. So we don't want to be with that, right? The penthouse doesn't want to be with that. Those different floors don't want to interact with the others. They have nothing in common with them. They're not on the same frequency. And those down here, they can try and pick on those on higher frequencies, but it's not going to work, right? So they will congregate more with the frequency that they relate to. They all love to go into controversy, but guess what happens to egos? They destroy one another because they're never working as a community, a loving, cohesive community. And this is why the matrix in the lower frequencies is dangerous to the planetary final story, which, by the way, is limitless. There's no one final story, because they will turn on each other. They will protect themselves as a person because they don't recognize themselves as the power of one that is connected to all things. They don't even think that way. They just think of themselves as a person in a scenario, and somebody's doing this and this and this. It's very compartmentalized. So frequencies matter. Now, when we talk about, and we're going to go through this one at a time, when we talk about where you are in this, you're not either here or there. It's any number of spaces between these two, and then this continues on, usually outside of our bodies, and then beyond. When we leave this space as a human being, we continue on with the learning and the frequency. It's never ending. The Council of Nine, people talk about these things. They have those above them. I was notified of this. I answer, there are those above me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yes, we answer to others who answer to others. Archangel, and we're not going to go into all this because you guys have your own thoughts and beliefs, and boy, you want to hang on to those. That's one of the symptoms of lower frequencies. And by the way, this is not to diss anybody or to criticize you. I'm letting you know that all human beings go through unconsciousness. We come here in the lowest form. Some of us come over here in a different role and come in with more knowledge than others, more abilities than others. The veils are, let's just say, thinner, but there's still an unconsciousness in every single person here. Because we have to play the game. We can't be the demonstration unless we go through these things ourselves. on some level, all right? Some of you chose your PhDs, you're going through some big challenges, abusive families, all these things. These are tests for you. Everything has divine purpose. Now, there are those in lower frequencies that don't recognize it, and they're always going to be victims, and they're always blaming other people. They don't recognize their own power. We're going to talk about your power today. One of the biggest symptoms of being in the lowest frequency that's going to play that lower frequency matrix game is argumentative personalities that have to be right and correct other people and judge other people. So I have beautiful people on my channel that feel that they have to correct me and tell me I'm wrong versus a conversation. Now, so as a human being, even as an enlightened person, you will have an opinion. Of course you will. But you will not expect others to believe what you do or impose it on somebody. If somebody comes to me and asks me for something, absolutely I'm going to share my opinion or whatever. Maybe, maybe not. You will have no interest in that. That's the first thing. You will have no interest in imposing your opinion or judgment on somebody. You don't need to tell anybody off. You don't even want to. You will listen and you become an observer. The higher frequency you go, the more you become an observer. And there are emotions involved in that. It doesn't mean that, you don't have the emotions of sadness or despair, because the higher frequency you go on, the more you cannot relate, the more that you're not relating to the world, and the deeper it goes in here of how useless it seems, yet at the same time you have what's called the knowing. The knowing is when you understand it has meaning that you will never know completely as a human, and you let go of having to know. That's difficult for people in ego state. They have to know everything. They want answers to everything. The higher frequency you go, the less you need answers. You just know that you have to respond on your best, highest frequency in every situation. And you will actually have thought behind it. The ego will always strike out first. When you go into high frequency, it takes a back seat. Have you ever seen me with my little puppet? I may have to bring him out. Hacker T, dog. He's always trying to protect you. So I want you to understand something about the ego. The ego is looking after your best interests as a human being in a physical world. It's not thinking outside of that. It's not thinking quantum. So the ego, that little fuzzy little dog that I use, is saying, I have to protect you. Oh, they said something that, you don't believe. You have to tell them they're wrong. And you have to protect your stuff and your family. It's a protector. So the ego does serve a positive purpose in certain circumstances, but it has taken such a lead role that it discounts the unity that actually is what's going to protect you most. And that's when we work together. We respect each other's opinions. We don't have to correct one another. We don't even want to get in those discussions. In fact, you have no interest at all, because you know that that's a game and none of it's going to matter. Somebody was talking about, father and son came and bought some wood from him, and that you gave it at quarter of the price. I said, well, who did that? You did. And then they were taking advantage of it, and I went, you really going to remember these things on your deathbed? No, you're going to remember what you should have done or could have done. Extend yourself. Give freely. Give freely. And if somebody takes advantage of you, oh well. So you're not going to go to bed and think about that. And they did this and this. That's the ego feeling like it's lost something. Control, power, things. If you're in anxiety, you have a story that's attached to the material world. Now, it's not to say you're not going to have feelings of distress or fear of that, but it no longer controls you. You separate it, and you recognize that this is just a temporary situation in the material world, but there's meaning behind it, and my response to it is an opening. Now, so you will, number one, you no longer have interest in judging. It doesn't feel, it actually feels really bad. And you'll catch yourself and go, ooh, it feels bad. I was criticizing that person in my head about how they dressed, or, you know, what they're doing, or their opinion. And then you actually feel so bad that you feel bad for doing that, because your energy field here is going into that space, and you'll go into the positive space and say, that's a beautiful person, wow, please forgive me, in your head. And then the higher you go into your frequency, the more you don't even go into that space. You just sort of smile and say, what a beautiful, beautiful, diverse person that is, without real judgment. It's just, you just observe. Okay? So the other thing that you're going to experience is the gift. And so the gift is, I have a whole video on that. You'll have, because we're shifting so drastically, so we have such extremes of this all the way up, you know, it's endless. But it's going extreme because the ego, because we're being tested with so many events, the ego now will have a lot of distractions, and it loves that. It gives it importance. No, these guys are right, and these guys, and then it takes sides, and they argue, and they implode on each other. So what's going to happen is these extremes are going to happen, but everyone's going to receive gifts, changes in your life. You can take them or not. If you don't take them, they'll come around, because they're purposely being created by you, because you ultimately, your subconscious higher self is always looking to elevate and increase, raise your frequency. It's always working on that. That's the whole game. That's the game. So events and things are always here as teaching and tests. That's all it is. All of it is. All of it is about that. Your entire visit here is the adventure of the experience as a human being in a lower density that is going back into consciousness. That's it. So the actual events and who said what and it's irrelevant. It's all illusion. It's illusion. Nobody has any answers about anything. And spending all your time on that is ego that is actually trying to find some meaning or importance or control in a world that it feels it doesn't have control over. And there's a fascination with that. There's an addiction to that. And that's conflict, separation, and controversy. And it's going to keep you all over. And nothing good comes from that. When I say good and bad, there's no good and bad. But here's the thing. There will always be an opening for every single person to make a change where they need to. All right? Mine was, I just changed my energy field. It was not working at the other counter. You've heard me say this practically every video. How did that happen? I don't know how it happened. I've had many gifts. I had money showing up that I didn't expect. I'm opening myself up, and I'm not judging what's going on. I'm saying thank you. These are gifts. Some of them are a little bit painful. Change is not easy. And some of them are just like in your face. You don't even realize the changes that you can or should make to go to a different space, to become, 4.0, Jane, Bob, Landria, 4.0, 5.0, whatever you want to do. But you have to be shook up, or you will stay in the same place, the same thinking, the same stories, the same place, the same poverty, the same health issues. Until something intervenes, you will not step out of it, right? Unless you get that assistance. And even then, even myself as a coach, I can't help somebody unless they let go of the stories. I very rarely get a student who has a problem doing that. And once in a while, they're so stuck on the blame and the victimization because they don't know who they are without that. So there's an identity in lower frequencies of who they are. You're going to use, lower frequencies use terms like PTSD. They have this whole list of things of what they are. That's not who you are. It's not. PTSD is actually trauma, physically and emotionally, deep, deep trauma that is inflicted by events, whatever and that's real. But you can change it. I'm not discounting anybody who goes through that. That's deep stuff. You got your PhD. You took on big challenges. So now you have to overcome these in a way that allows you to become a completely different person. So you took this on. Now when you stop identifying with the 1.0 or 2.0 person that has that, you can actually be the person that has none of that. It is possible. All things are possible. You can do this. There will be an event or a gift that'll help you to get out of that, to take a different pathway, and you actually can literally. People say that it's a journey. It is a journey. There's always, you're always going to learn new things and look back and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I believed that. Or I remember arguing about that. I remember when a psychic, when was this? Almost like 25 years ago. A psychic told me, my friend sends me a psychic, said, you're a hybrid. I said, hybrid what? Yeah, I'm Finnish and Swedish and American mutt. And they said, no, you're an alien hybrid. I said, alien? I didn't get it. I'd never heard this stuff. I never looked at any of those things. Of course, I know that we are not alone, but I'd never heard that term. So she says, yeah, that, I am a mix of whatever. And so at the time, I thought it was insane and that she was insane. And now I look back. So you will start to change your opinion. You'll become more open-minded, and some of you will close up more, all right? Ask yourself which direction you're going in. Because all things are true. All things are true. So if somebody says something, it's true because they believe it. So they live in that reality. So even if it's limiting, they're living in the basement. And that is real. That's a real space. That's a real frequency. The more limited you are in your thinking, and the more you think that things are this way, the lower frequency you're on. And again, this is not to pick on anybody. I'm letting you know that those limitations are holding you back from stepping into something so amazing that you can change anything in your life. And watch it, because some of you, and I had it, I had one thought. I actually said it to my bestie. I told her something that I wanted to do in my life to improve on, and boy, it showed up in a big way. And I said to her, well, okay, this is very uncomfortable, but it's a gift. It's a gift. And so you have to go through some uncomfortable situations to shift into your 4.0 or 5.0 version of yourself and see it as a gift. So others who are not yet raising their frequency see the material world as satisfying them. If I get this, then I'll be happy. So you guys know, digitalexplorers.net, I created it so entrepreneurs could create planet conscious businesses and start to actually do things that give them purpose. All right. So when we go into online business, you've seen all these people online. You're probably getting pelted on my channel. Here's how to make money. Here's how to make money. And it's all about chasing money. It's not about ownership or purpose or positive impact. It's about, because what most people think, and we are programmed constantly. Nobody's going on and saying, hey, do you even the law of attraction ads, do you know that your value, what you're thinking, your value is your bank account? Do you want to learn the law of attraction? It's all self-serving for a material world. All right. So when you think, if I get the money or the relationship or the job or the new house, then I'll be happy, is a low frequency. You are not tapping into your power. When you go through situations and you're grateful for where you are, the quantum field says, yes, you have, I have, and therefore you get more of that. So you don't do it to get more. If I'm grateful, then I'll get more stuff. That's still low frequency. You're still wanting more stuff. I know it's tough, but letting go is one of the most powerful things you can do. Every situation, look at it and say, do I really need to have an answer to that? Do I know the answers? Or because I watch channels A, B, and C, or this news, or this expert, that I have the answer? Answers to what? This is a freaking adventure. This is illusion. This is meant to allow you to experience that. It isn't meant for you to get so entrenched in it that it creates conflict against others who you could be unified with to create something amazing. The next thing is, are you a creator, or are you participating in the existing programming? fighting it. Somebody said, well, should we turn a blind eye? And I said, no, I'm not asking you to turn a blind eye. It's not a blind eye. I'm saying to focus your attention someplace else, not blind. We're not blind to that over there. I'm just not going. So you have something over here that's maybe cruel or whatever. So conflict in it creates conflict. I'm now in the basement with you. This is right. This is right. You can't do that. It's judgment. It's criticism. You said this. I'm so disappointed in you. And so creators, we get this crap all the time. I don't know how some of those creators can stand it. Because people are looking to argue because they want to be superior and right. And that's okay. So if you're on the other side of that, it's like, my question always, why are you so angry? Where's this coming from? Why do you need to do this? And you can't possibly know what I'm thinking or feeling, yet they will sit and argue because they don't have anything else going on. So here's the next thing, the third thing I think he gets. Being the creator and the change maker. That's the only way you can go into the new earth. That is the only way. Because to participate in this and to fight this, it goes nowhere. It's on a low frequency because you're treating it as something that is actually real and substantial. It's just an experience. If I don't like this, instead of battling it, okay, the cure for cancer, battle cancer, the war against drugs, none of it has ever worked. Because we have to have a solution so that that's no longer appealing. We have to have a solution so cancer can't possibly find a home anyplace because we have immune systems that don't even allow it in our bodies, our homes, right? So how do we do that? So I think it's sort of ironic that the sponsor for the children's cancer home is actually a fast food place. Yeah, let's all go eat fast food and chemicals and things that have been frozen for God knows how long, taken by animals that were not treated well. This is insanity. And this is why I tell you, you have to be cognizant of absolutely everything. You cannot sit in your living room or, your parents' basement. We make jokes about that, but that's real stuff. People that feel like they have nothing in their lives will seek out importance through here and, gaming and all these other things. What are you doing? Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is very, very dangerous to the Matrix program, and that is I actually saw a creator that I really like a lot, and I'm like, oh God, he's obviously getting paid a lot from a sponsor, and it's a violent game. And you put the little and kill people, and you're being trained to kill. You're being trained to be violent. You're being trained to protect. You're being trained to separate yourself. It's all programming. It should never be allowed, ever. No violence of any kind, programmed or game, ever would be allowed in the new earth. If you're participating in it, you cannot participate in the new earth. They just aren't on the same floor. It's your choice. There are other options. Be the creator of something new and amazing. You can do it. We're doing it. DigitalExplorers.net. I said, what do you want to create? I'm not talking about coaching people, how, law of attraction, I'm talking about, we're going to help you. I can help you to go into a space where you're going to dig so deep into that amazing space that you have access to, that you don't give a crap what anybody else is doing, because you're so focused on contributing the high frequency. Your frequency alone, you got to raise your own. Right? You got to put that mask on first. Raise your own frequency. And you can't say, my husband. Okay, how many times are my spouse? They're not awakened. I can't be around. And then you argue with them. You are not awakened. That's a low frequency. So this is the toughest part, is to recognize what we're doing ourselves. You can have an opinion. You're a human being. You will make mistakes. There's no such thing. You're going to learn. If you stay in that frequency and you don't take it to the next level, you're missing out on the opportunity to go up a floor. That's all it is. Look at it and say, wow, that's who I was, and those are the decisions I made. I was angry. I was blaming. I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm going to see the light. And I tell all my students who've had a childhood trauma, I said, I will give you 100%, I bet 100% that your parents came from abuse and distortion. And every time they say yes. Every time. Because love gives love. It doesn't know anything else. Violence and fear and, the world that we come from that's so distorted. If we don't know anything else, we don't know anything else to give. So if you're the example, if you break the chain and you're the example of absolute love no matter what. And by the way, I'm not saying approval. You don't approve. We don't approve of abuse. Animals and people and children, I'm not approving of anything. I'm telling you that the change makers help others to find a new way. And if they don't have that way and they're just chastised and told that they're wrong, that's even worse. You're taking them down a few floors. And that's you staying down there. How do we raise them up? By shining light and say, you are loved, you are beautiful. You don't have to be this. Let's show you another way. And no, we're not going to allow this. And we can be protectors. So the meek is not the weak. Are you the meek? The meek is, I don't have to argue a point. You can explain things, but I don't need to convince you of anything. What are my choices instead of what are you doing? Am I sitting there and criticizing and judging you? Are you not behaving the way I think you should? That's going on here. Look at this. Because if you listen to somebody and say, okay, I don't have to agree with that, you won't care anymore. You just don't care anymore. It just has no effect on you. And people say, oh, I can tell you're upset. I said, boy, you don't know me. That's not even in my scope. I don't even go into that space anymore, right? And so it's tough because I'm not Eckhart Tolle sitting here going, Zen. He has emotions too. He gets angry. He has all kinds of emotions. He does things. He drinks wine and coffee and everybody criticizes him for saying things because we think that awakening is this pristine thing that is no longer human, and that's not true. Dalai Lama gets angry. You just don't do anything with it. You experience the material world and the humanity, and you know what it is. And you say, that's what anger is. But you're not experiencing it anymore. It's sitting out here. And you go, wow, ooh, that's fear. Ooh, and you break through it. I'm changing my entire platform. I created digitalexplorers.net because I saw people are going into jobs they hate. They're sick. They're destroying our planet. And they're supporting companies that are destroying our planet because they tell themselves they have to earn a living. Change makers create businesses that will not do that. So if you're interested, you're entrepreneurial, and you want to take advantage of the online industry, you don't have to go in an office anymore. Our office is here. You don't have to have employees. You don't have to have, I'm a former investment banker, millions of dollars to launch. I'll show you how to do it. And most of my training is to focus on how to build companies organically. What do you want to do? You can do anything. Do you want to be that person that feels love? Are you feeling any anxiety right now? Do you find yourself criticizing other people or judging? It's not about them. That's your test. What's your gift? You're going to get one if you haven't already. There's going to be some event in your life that's going to shake you up. Take it. Take it. Because if you don't, you will stay exactly where you are, and you won't know how to get out of it. Because you're thinking. You don't know what you don't know. The same mind that created the problem cannot solve the problem, Einstein. You can't get out of that until you become a different person that sees things completely different. And all of a sudden, if you're criticizing somebody real and then it happens to you, you say, oh, okay, I was looking down on this person. Now it's me. Now it's me. Don't let that be you if you don't want to go into that space. Go up a few floors. Find the light in the other. You will need the other. We're going into something, and you will need the other, And it won't be the ones in the basement, because they will destroy each other in the illusion here, playing out planet Earth's program. If you want to play the program on the penthouse, you will be in a space of pure love and joy, still witnessing that, but no longer participating in that lower frequency program. You will shine the light and you will guide others to know that there's nothing to be afraid of, that you are absolutely perfect, that everything that you're experiencing that is painful, there will be some pain here, is temporary, and that you can change those thoughts and feelings also. It's your choice. Nobody makes you angry. Nobody makes you sad. Nobody is, they did that, I said, you're going to start taking responsibility today, because they don't have power over you. You're the one that decided that you're going to let them make decisions for you. You're the decision maker all the time. So do you come in those categories? Are you doing some of these things? Are you allowing that material world and fear and the drones and all this stuff? They're distractions. We're going to have more and more of them, so it's going to separate people. Some people say, oh my gosh, I'm not afraid, and oh, let's see what happens. This could be crazy good, and others will go down here, and we don't know what those final results will be. We have a new cabinet coming in the White House. Don't be afraid. You have nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. Be the change maker. And when you're focused on positive change and purpose, you're not even thinking about this stuff, because you're creating. I'm focused on this. I don't have time to look at the conspiracies, right? I'm writing courses and shooting videos and meditating and doing cool stuff. The world is your oyster. It's beautiful, but it's a choice. So, do you feel, are you getting caught up in this stuff? Let it go. Let it go. And what happens is when you focus over here, these things and people and situations actually dissolve. Because when you focus it, right? Quantum physics, wave and particle. Yeah? It's a wave, it's a particle, depends on if you're looking at it or not. And then it becomes something only upon your focus, only upon your attention. And the thoughts behind it actually create the results. You alone. This is we're going to go into an era, and they're already doing this, finding out that you are that powerful. You are actually creating your events with your thoughts, because you are entangled with the very thing that you believe. And I'm not even thinking of it. I don't even know it exists, right? This fog thing, that was the silliest thing I ever heard. But if you believe it, you could get sick. It was fog. Our planet's changing, right? You know, people, they're evil, you need to do your homework. I said, what homework is that? You want me to spend time trying to, so you can prove somebody out there with power and money is evil? Where are you? Why do you need to do that? What are you going to prove when you do that? What are you contributing to our planet, to this field of all possibilities, all probabilities? I want to tap into it. I have a class coming up called Magic, and we are actually learning how to do that. So if you guys are in one of my email lists, especially free inspiration, landria.com free inspiration, it's only $29.95 I have to pay for those platforms. We have meditations, and we're learning how to clear out the negative thoughts and the things that get in the way of the magic that you possess. That unlimited space with no stories, and everything is perfect because Source created everything. That person you hate, that's Source. What are you doing with it? You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Go down in my description. You can find anything you want down there to explore whatever I'm offering you that can take you to some other place that you may never have explored as a human being in this rule. You ready to go there? You are unconditionally loved. Namaste.